Hey guys, so this is my first video and it's basically about bad relationships and what I think the 7 steps of a bad relationship are. I've just decided to make this video because I've seen so many people who seem to be stuck in bad relationships who are really young, and it's kind of ridiculous because I mean, you know, at a young age you should just be having fun and enjoying your life and just doing what's best for you. But like everywhere I go I see it, like so many of my friends have been in it, I've experienced it, you know, like everyone has really, and it's really bad because it can go on for years. You can be stuck in a bad relationship for years and never get out of it, and it's just such a waste of your life. Like, you know, you should be living life. So basically the first step I think is, first you start dating and you're really happy and you really like this person and you spend all your time with this person. It's basically like the honeymoon stage, so you don't want to, you know, you don't want to be separate from this person. Then the second stage is when you start neglecting your friends for this person, because all you want to do is see this person all the time, so you don't really see your friends anymore because, you know, you just want to be with them. This isn't necessarily like a bad thing, it's just that you should have a balance. You should see your friends and like your significant other the same amount. You shouldn't really just like neglect your friends completely, you know, because before you're with this person you were with your friends all the time probably. So that's it. It's not really a good thing. It can lead to, like, you know, friendships breaking up and stuff. Then the third step to a bad relationship is when you guys start fighting a lot after only like a few months. If you start fighting a shitload after like a few months, then that's a really bad sign, because it's still the beginning and you shouldn't really be arguing like all the time, you know. So that's like warning number 1. You know, if the person isn't treating you right after like a few months, and if they start to get like controlling or like really jealous like out of nowhere, that is just like when you should back off and be like, no, this isn't for me. Because people like that, I mean, there's a lot of people like that, girls and guys, everywhere. Like, they're just not meant for relationships because they cause a lot of problems for you, and they just constantly jealous, constantly like making up scenarios in their head of what like you're doing behind their back, and you're probably doing nothing at all and they'll create something. So that's a really bad sign. Step number 4 is basically when you start telling your friends about all these problems, and obviously they're going to tell you break up with the person, like, you know, you can do so much better, why are you still with this guy or this girl, and they say like you deserve better, you shouldn't be with them. And that's when you agree and you're like, I know, like you actually listen to your friends and you're like, I know, I really shouldn't be with them, I'm gonna break up with them, it's like I'm sick of it now. And somehow, even though you could be completely convinced in your head that you're gonna break up with them, they can still somehow convince you. Step 5 is manipulation. So basically, you can be completely convinced that you're gonna break up with them, and you're like, yep, I'm gonna do it, like I'm gonna go speak to them, I'm gonna end it. And some people are so manipulating that they can completely change your mind, like you knew exactly what you wanted and they can completely change your mind and make you think that you want something else, because basically they'll just make you feel so bad for them. They'll like cry to you and like tell you that they'll change, I'll change, yeah, always I'll change. You can't fucking change. So they'll convince you not to break up with them, and your mind will change, and you'll just say, like, you'll just think to yourself, oh my word, like they probably are gonna change, I'm gonna give them another chance. And so the cycle goes on, like it, you know, it carries on and on. It doesn't really end after that, because they've manipulated you into giving them another chance. Basically they make you feel so sorry for them that you sometimes just stay with them because they make you feel so bad for them that you like have no choice but to stay with them. You can't break up with them. They'll sometimes hold things against you, like what are you gonna do without me and stuff like that, and make you feel very insecure. And that's a really bad thing. Because also, if you're so comfortable with being with them all the time, they can use that against you, because you guys are always together. So they will say to you like, what are you gonna do without me, like you need me in your life, you know, stuff like that, which can really mess with a person's head, because then they feel like they can't actually break up with you anymore. So then step number 6 is when you start losing friends. Now that's like the worst thing to happen, because if a relationship is making you lose all your friends, then honestly, like, what does that say about your relationship? It just tells you how shit it actually is, because that shouldn't be happening, you know. This is when like friends are so sick of giving you advice and telling you to end it and trying to help you, and you're just not listening to them because you're just like completely stuck in this cycle that you can't get out of, and you don't see them as well, so you don't see them and you don't listen to their advice and everything, that they're finally just like sick of it, and they're like, you know what, go do what you want. And that's how like so many friendships end, because they can't handle like dealing with your shit anymore. Step number 7, the last step, is what I call when you're just stuck. Like, you're just fucking stuck and the relationship has not gotten any better. Like, this might be like a few months down the line, like 4, 5, 6 months, even more. Like, sometimes this shit drags on for years, like it just doesn't end. It's not getting any better, and you don't feel like you can be without the person anymore, because you've gotten so comfortable being in the relationship, and you don't have like any friends, or hardly any friends, to even be there for you. So you think to yourself, like, how could I possibly break up with this person and be without them? I'm gonna have no one. You think you'll be completely alone, so that doesn't help at all. But that's what happened throughout the whole relationship. It left you feeling completely insecure and feeling like you're gonna be alone. It also like breaks your self-esteem, and loads of girls like have no self-esteem after a relationship like that. You feel like you'll never do better. That's why you stay with them. You feel like, oh, like, you know, I love them. I'm like, you know, I'm comfortable with them. And sometimes they make you feel like you don't like deserve like anyone else like but them. Like, you don't deserve better than them, and you couldn't do better than them, which is complete bullshit, because I mean, most of the time that person's treating you like shit, and you've just become so used to it that it just becomes normal, and you don't really see it like for what it actually is. You don't see it for how bad it is, and that's basically like the last step of that whole relationship. This is the stage where it's like very hard, because you probably aren't happy at all, and you just really need to be strong and have like a lot of willpower, and be able to like just realize that it's your life and you need to do what's best for you and not for somebody else. You need to be happy with yourself. If you aren't happy, then you really shouldn't stick anything out for anyone else. You should do what's best for you, you know? Like, if you decide to break up with the person, then break it off. And if like, sometimes a lot of people will try and they will keep sucking you back in. Like, they'll message you, they'll call you, they'll come to your house, they'll constantly like, they won't leave you alone. And you have to be strong and completely like block them off everything, of social media. Like, don't answer their calls. If they call you like 20 times, don't answer it. Just like completely ignore it. Like, just act as if they don't exist, and slowly you will get happier, and it will, like, you will be upset for a few weeks, you'll be heartbroken, but it will go away. Like, you after all of that is like, slowly you'll start making friends again, and even your old friends you'll become friends with again, and you'll be so happy. You'll feel so relieved after those few weeks, and you'll just think to yourself, like, what was I thinking? Like, what was I doing with this person, you know, that was treating me like crap for so fucking long? But yeah, like, after that, it's not as hard as it seems. Like, when you're in it, it really does seem like the end of the world, but after you've passed that stage and you're out of it, it's like the best thing you could ever do. You're your own person. You need to like do whatever you want to do, and you can't have somebody like controlling your whole entire life and having that hold over you, you know? Like, you need to do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's basically what I just wanted to talk about, and I'll probably make another video about like girls after being through a bad relationship and their self-esteem and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and give it a thumbs up if you like it. Okay, bye. Na, 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 na.